Everyone. Okay, my name is Himela Tomiwa Joseph. I'm from the Department of Business Administration, and today we'll be taking you on the topic system development and procurement. I won't be doing this alone. My colleagues are here also to take you on this particular topic, and with me here I have
Timitomi Adewale,
Friday during Hope,
Adenji Deborah,
Okike Joseph.
I'll be talking about system development lifecycle. Information systems are very important to business. With an information system, businesses can monitor profitability, improve financial management, and manage customer relations. In short, information systems make life easier and make businesses very productive. The advantages of information system is what prompts businesses to acquire them. Businesses can acquire information system either through buying or building one from the scratch. System development lifecycle is a set of steps that businesses use to build quality information system. Businesses use system development lifecycle because it consists of phases that serve as guidelines that help businesses build information system that suits their business needs. System development lifecycle is divided into 7 phases. We have the planning, we have analysis, we have design, development, testing, implementation, and maintenance. Planning is at the planning stage. The organization decides if it needs the. At the planning stage, the business decides if it needs the new information system or not. The resources, costs, risks, and benefits are considered at this stage. The business also examines the viability of the new system through the feasibility study. In the feasibility study, they will consider the economic point of view, technical point of view, legal and operational point of view. After the planning stage, we move to the analysis stage. At this point, the organization will make an analysis of the functional requirements that will be present in the system, which will help meet the end user's needs. Many meetings are always required before we can finalize the requirements and the features that will be present in the system. The output of this phase is the requirements definition document, which specifies the requirements and features that will be present in the system from the stakeholders' perspective. Now, the functional requirements is not the only thing that you find in this document. We also find requirements like security requirements, compliance requirements, and so on. After the analysis phase, we move into the design phase. At this phase, we turn the requirements definition document into a logical structure that developers can develop in a programming language. At this stage, we also create our system design, and it captures the architecture, it captures the components, and it captures the interface of the system that will help meet the end user's requirements. At the end of the stage, we examine our system design to ensure that it contains all the requirements from our requirements definition documents. After our design, we move into development. At this phase, we turn the system design into an actual information system. This phase is usually seen as the longest phase because it could take months. The system design will provide a guideline for our source code, and the developers will use a programming language that they consider to be the best after considering the type of system and its uses. After the development phase, we move into the testing phase. The testing phase involves system integration and system testing. At this stage, we usually have quality assurance team to help take over the testing phase. The main goal of this phase is to ensure that there are no bugs present in the system before we begin the implementation phase. There are different types of system testing that an organization can employ. We have the unit testing, which is testing the individual modules for their functionality. We have the regression testing, in which we test it to see if a change in the system has affected the overall functionality. This phase usually goes on until the users accept the information system. After we test, we move to the implementation stage. This is where the system itself goes live. Now, there are 4 common methods that an organization could use to implement their new information system. First, we have the pilot phase, in which a small group of people are allowed to use the system before the entire organization has access to it. We have the phase implementation, in which we use the new system bit by bit until it gradually replaces the old system if we had an old system in the first place. Then we have the parallel implementation, in which the new system and the old system are run at the same time. And finally, we have the direct implementation. implementation, which the new system directly takes over from the old system. Sometimes we call this direct implementation the Big Bang. After we've implemented, we move to the maintenance phase. This phase is characterized by solving all the issues that cropped up after the information system has been launched. What we usually find in this phase is system updates, adding new requirements, and making regular maintenance. One of the activities we could find here is the adding latest security technologies to the system to help fight against security threats. And those are the 7 phases of the system development lifecycle. Now, I want to talk about the importance of the system development lifecycle. First, it is cost efficient because in the early phase, developers have the opportunity to make cost estimates and predict costly mistakes. This means that unnecessary mistakes that will cost the organization a lot are prevented in the development phase. And 2, if a key project member leaves the project, a new member can take over from wherever it stopped. Because with the system development lifecycle, this organization is able to make well-structured and well-documented paper trail that covers the entire project. And first, we have high-quality system as an advantage of using system development lifecycle. Because before the organization launched their information system development lifecycle allows them to test the system extensively, and that is why an organization could decide to use system development lifecycle.
Strategy. What is a strategy? A strategy is a careful plan or method. That is the way of planning things in order to achieve a productive outcome or result. Then what is software development strategy? A software development strategy is a step-by-step plan in which the list of all stages are involved in the software development, including the key stakeholders, the goals or the purpose times, the passing down of one phase to another phase. Okay, the users of waterfall software development, the project teams and the project managers, they are the main users of the software development strategy, because it will help them meet the needs of their business. And we have the stages, we have 7 stages of waterfall software development, which number 1 is requirements, number 2 that is analysis, number 3 that is testing, and number 4 coding and implementation, number 5 we have the maintenance, number 6 we have the operation and deployment, and number 7 design. Then the logic of the waterfall software development. This is when one phase can be started after the completion of the previous phase. Now let's move to iterative method. Iterative method is just like the replacement of the waterfall method, because the classical waterfall method was somehow not easier for some people to use. And the difference between iterative method and waterfall method is the introduction of feedbacks. Then the feedback allows the errors to be detected easily. There's of feedback. The advantage of iterative method: 1, the introduction of feedback parts, because it makes it easier to detect the errors. Then number 2, it is well understandable. People use it because it is well understandable and it is well organized. Okay, let's go to agile method. Agile method. Before we move to agile method, what is the meaning of agile? Agile means easily to adapt or respond to adapt or change. So agile method is just based on the iterative method, but it's just that agile method breaks into smaller parts, which does not involve long-term planning. Then we have type of agile method: 1, Scrub; 2, Crystal; 3, we have the extreme programming; 4, Uber. That's all. Thank you.
Basically, I'll be talking about why an organization will decide to choose a particular software development strategy over another one for a particular project. So they are different, or several software development strategy, and any available, and any one of them can be used to create a project depending on the development and the people that want to use them. And it could either be a new or existing software. So very quickly, I would like to move to the type of project. So just as we've learned by the previous tutor explaining how the type of project and everything looks like. So we know there are majorly 3 types of project. we have the waterfall, we have the iterative, and we also have the agile. So we know for the waterfall, it's basically talking about how goals are defined in each phase. How goals are defined in each phase, basically. Then for the iterative method or model is basically talking about the completion of analysis and design that is going to be done by a particular team to move to the conduct and the test that is going to be taken by another team also, meaning you have to do one before you do the next one, just as what we've learned previously. And when a business need is getting lengthy, the waterfall method will actually fail because you have to adopt the agile method, and this will take us very quickly to the comparison between the two major. For the purpose of this class, we'll be talking about the comparison between waterfall and agile. One, we can see that under the waterfall method, it is not easy. It is not easy. For the purpose of this class, we'll be talking about the comparison between the waterfall and the agile model. Now, for the waterfall, it is best when definition, not speed, is a requirement, and while for the agile, it is best when the project need a fast completion. Then for the waterfall, also, it's not dynamic, meaning it is not easy to change. But for the agile method, it is easy to change and it is dynamic, meaning it is openness. There's openness for project. So under the waterfall method also, the waterfall method in this case is finally under the waterfall, the project starts once all the initial requirements are precise and complete. And while in the agile, it's divided into chunk and modules. So that there will be ease of the project in the development. So basically, we can see that based on these two comparisons, we see that making use of the agile is better for an organization to adapt or to make use of such approach. Why? Because of how flexible it is, how fast it is, how easy it is, and how it doesn't take so much time like the way the waterfall takes. So an organization, it is best an organization to adopt the agile model, the agile method.
So we're talking about how organizations decide on whether to buy or build an information system. Firstly, building or buying a software is a critical decision that involves some pros and cons that an organization must consider before knowing which to go with. A general rule of thumb talks about if an organization can acquire prepacked software that meets 70 to 80% of its requirements with a relative cost rate, then buy option will be a favorable approach. But this very approach often comes with complicated uncertainties. So moving forward, what are the considerations that organization must take before knowing which decision to follow? Moving further, there are some important factors the organization must consider before deciding on building or buying an information system. And these factors are as follows. 1, strategic value. 2, overall cost. And we also have, 2, overall cost, and the time needed to deploy, the needed customization, and finally the availability of IT resources. Now, the strategic value. This mode talks about the actual value the purchaser is willing to pay for a business. And while the overall cost is simply the sum of standard costs. The sum of standard cost of an utilized item. While the needed customization is simply the act of modifying something to suit an individual or a task. While the availability of IT resources simply refers to the necessary equipment such as the networks, the hardware, the software, and other resources owned or used on behalf of an organization. That's it. However, should an organization decide to buy an information system, some basic steps will be required rather. Firstly, a short list of potential vendors will be created. Then a proposal document will equally be required of the potential vendors. And then a scheduling of demonstration will be required as well. And then conclusive selections will be made as well. And finally, an implementation and maintenance exercise will be carried out. Thank you.
I'm here to talk about the human elements in system development and procurement. What are these elements? They include the cross-functional teams, the senior management, and consultants. The cross-functional team consists of different people from an organization that come together for the purpose of implementing this software. Now, why did they have to come together? This will make the system development and procurement productive. Now, because of the differences in their units, there could be a communication barrier, and this will prompt them to share knowledge and ideas of what the project processes should be. And the senior manager has to inspire these workers and also give them resources they need to carry out this project. And most importantly, they have to emphasize on the system strategic value. Now, this senior manager has to build a close relationship with the CIO in order to implement the senior management. The senior manager has to emphasize the system strategic value and also to inspire the employees to work together and provide the resources they need to carry out this project. The senior manager also have to build a close relationship with the CIO in order to implement the cloud services to avoid the pitfall of systems that don't exchange data. The other elements involve consulting external services, which is working with consultants. Now, this is important when organization has new large system to build. Now, the consultants help in the configuring, customizing, and launching of the software. Because of this external service, the information system professional has to have the skill of effective contract management. Thank you. Now, this concludes the end of the topic, system development and procurement. Thank you.